start of the gemorah in the second parak. Says the gemorah, Meisai mutal of ein, yes, vish ein mutal of loy. The Mishnah said, Misha Meisai mutal of, quick recap, potem krishma mitfila minat tfilin. If someone's dead, if there's a corpse in front of him, he's potter from krishma tfilin. And from all mitzvahs, says in the Torah. Says the gemorah, that's only if mutal of in. That's only if it's lying right in front of him. She'ein mutal of, if it's not in front of him, loy, he's not potter. That's the mashmois of the Mishnah. The implication of the Mishnah is he's only potter if it's right in front of him. Then he's potter from krishma tfilin, but not if it's in a different place. For minu, there's a contradiction. It says in a different price. So Misha Meisai Mutalefanov, if there's a corpse in front of him, Eichel Beveis Acher, he should eat in a different house. Vim Einle Beis Acher, if he doesn't have a different house to eat in, what should he do? Eichel Beis Chavera, go to your friend's house. Vim Einle Beis Chavera, he doesn't have a friend, Eisa Mechitza Eichel, he should put up some type of barrier, a wall, and then eat. Don't eat in front of the mace. If he doesn't have what to make a wall with, he's sitting there in the middle of the desert, there's nothing to make a wall with. Turn around, turn the other way, and eat. He doesn't have to starve, the guy's got to eat. He could be there for days. So what should you do? Turn around and eat. Don't look at this corpse and eat. It says the gemorah, says the Bryce of he's not allowed to lean on the side and eat. They used to lean, we know from Pesach, they used to lean on the side. They used to eat lying down basically. So you shouldn't lie on the side. Don't eat meat. Don't start having a whole barbecue there. Don't drink your wine. You don't have to make a bracha. Rashi says, which bracha? Bracha Samaitzi. And you don't have to bench afterwards. Rashi says. Interesting why he doesn't say he doesn't have to do a zimun. No, so let's keep going in the Brisa. Meaning he doesn't need someone else to make a bracha to be motzi him. And he doesn't have to be part of a zimun. He doesn't get together with three other people to do a zimun or bais and varach. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't bench. He doesn't do zimun. And the potem kriya shema mitfila minat tfilin mikol mitzvah murus b'Torah. So we'll keep going in the price. So b'Shabbos, what's the din on Shabbos? What should you do on Shabbos? So b'Shabbos meisav, he should lean. V'aychel basa, you eat meat. V'sheisa yain, you drink your wine. And muvarech, you should bench. And mezamen, and bench with a zimun. And muvarech olav, people should bench. People should be mitzvah him with brachas hamazon. And mezamen olav, he should be part of a zimun. V'chayev b'chol mitzvahs amus b'Torah. He should do all the mitzvahs it says in the Torah. On Shabbos you chayiv everything. Reb Shimon ben Gamliel Aimer Metoishin is chayiv be'elu, is chayiv be'kulon. Once he's chayiv in benching and eating and basa yayin on Shabbos, he's chayiv in everything. What's the difference between the Tanakam and Reb Chaim? What's Reb Shimon ben Gamliel adding? He's chayiv in. What do you mean he's chayiv in everything? You just said he's chayiv krishma, tefillin, Torah, or whatever it is. He's chayiv to eat. He can eat meat. He can drink wine. What's the extra thing he's adding? My benayu, ike benayu tashmisham mita. The difference is, can he be with his wife? According to Reb Shimon Gamliel, he's allowed to be with his wife also. Okay, that's the end of this memra. So the Gemara says now, Ketani Mias. However, it does say Potter Makrishma. He's Potter. He's exempt from saying Shema, u'minat tefillah, u'minat tefillin, u'chol mitzvah mus b'Torah. So this is a contradiction to how we answered the Mishnah. It says here that he's potter from everything, right? Not on Shabbos, during the week. He's potter from Torah, from tefillah, tefillin, kriya shema, and from any other mitzvahs. And that's talking about when l'chayr, that's talking about when he's not in front of him, right? It doesn't say that only if it's in front of him. It says Misha Mesa Mutalafanov. he should eat in another house. The mashmai says that that's referring to even if the mace is not in front of him, he's potter. And on Shabbos he's chayiv even if the mace is there. That's the mashmai. So the Gemara answers on Rav Papa. Rav Papa says, Tirguma, Rav Papa explains a machzipon of oichal. The din is potter from Kriyishma, Tfilin, and that praying. That's when it's talking about when the mace is yes in front of him and he turns to the side to eat. When does he not bench? When does he not have to say Brichas Hamazon? When does he not have to do a Ziman? That's if he's in the same room. But if he's in a different room, he's potter. He can go to a different room and bench. But if he's in the same room as a mace, this Bryce is saying he's potter from everything.
You're learning a Machzor Panav is a different room?
A Machzor Panav Eichel means he's in the same room. A Machzor Panav Eichel, then you're potter. But if he goes to a different room, then he's chayiv.
Okay.
Then he's chayiv. In other words, it fits in with our Mishnah that only if it's in front of him is he potter. If it's not in front of him, he's chayiv in everything. Okay, so just an interesting side note. What is this Mesav business? What is this leaning? Why should he not lean when he eats? So take a look in Rashi. Rashi says, Einu Mesav, last line in Rashi, Ein Sarich. Sorry, where's this Rashi? 4 lines from the bottom. Einu Mesav, Kederech HaMesubin B'chashivas. When you lean, when you eat and you lean down on the table, on the side, it's like a sign of chashivas, importance. You're resting, you're leaning back, you're eating like a king. So it's not right to do that in front of the mace. You shouldn't be leaning. You shouldn't act like it's you're in some big function over here. Right? Chashivas, the problem is chashivas. Rabbeinu Yomi says the problem is that when you lean, it's like a kovei suda. You're fixing a suda, a whole big suda. Don't fix a suda. You can eat a little bit. Achilas arai is fine. Don't do achilas kvar. That's what he means by leaning. The Taz says, based on Rashi, l'chayra, it's a problem with chashivas, and now we don't lean, so sitting at a table is chashivas. So the Taz says maybe you should eat on the floor. If you eat, sit on the floor, like, you're not machshav achila. Okay. So, according to Rav Papa says that this brisa is talking about when you potter from everything. That's if you're in front of the mace. You're not in front of the mace, you're chayiv, right? Question is, some person say, is he chayiv to leave the mace and then go say Krishma outside? So get someone else, call someone else in, come in, I'll leave, and then you can say Krishma. Some say it's not covered. The mace to start playing games and moving around. Maybe he's Isaac with mitzvah, he doesn't have to go and do that. He doesn't need to. Once he's there, he's potter. He doesn't have to start doing other things. So says Rav Ashi argues with Papa. Rav Ashi Omar Kiven Shemutul Olav L'Koivrai, since he is obligated to bury this guy, Kumutul L'Fon of Dami. Even if he's in a different room, a different house, it doesn't matter. He's got business to take care of. He's got to bury someone. So it doesn't matter if he's in this room or the other room. Shenamar, how do we know this? For Yaakov Avram Malpnei Mesai. It says about Avram Avinu that he got up from Malpnei Mesai. Well, I think that's the 6th parsha, right? V'nem of Ekbar Mesi Milfonai. Calls man Shemut L'Olav L'Koivrai Kamut L'Fon of Domi. If he has to bury the guy, it's like it's in front of him. You don't have to actually be right in front of the mace. It's enough that he's got this job to do. He's told b'malachta. He's got something to take care of. He's got to bury this guy. Aval. Sorry. Okay. Mesa in Aval Misham Elai.
Mark, you want some?
No, it's...
Now the Gemara makes a dig now. The Gemara says Mesa in. Only if it's his family that's dead. Mesa. Alva Mashamrai, if he stum a guy, this was your kashi yesterday. If he stums someone that's watching this mace, you happen to be watching him. No, you're not potter. You have to say Krishma. You're Shema, but you're not related. Then you are obligated to say all these things. Vatanya, Hamashamas Hamesa Pishena Mesa Potter. It says in the Bryce, if someone that's watching this mace, Alva Pishena Mesa, even if it's not his mace, Potter Makrishna Mitfila. He's exempt from saying Krishma, from praying. He doesn't have to do it. So you see that someone's Mishamar, he is Potter, even if it's not a relative. Mishamrai Av Bishena Mesai. The Gemara says, "Mishamrei af pishein meisai, meisai af pishein mishamrei." There's two things that's going to exempt this guy: whether either if it's his mace, or if it's his relative, or if he's watching. Either way, he's going to be pater. So they're both pater, mishamrei and meisai. So the Ran is medayik from here. Fascinating thing. The Ran says there's a big kasha in Kol Kula. Someone's oisik b'mitzvah potter in a mitzvah. You're doing one mitzvah, you're potter from doing any other mitzvah, right? You don't have to go ahead and do something. You're davening shmoines, you're davening, you're praying. You don't have to start giving charity. You don't have to in the middle run out. I don't know what, take care of something, right? Oisik b'mitzvah potter in a mitzvah. He's medayik from. Hold on. He's medayik from this case. He learns out, since this guy's watching the mace, what's he doing? He's sitting there. He's not doing anything. He's not sweeping the floor. He's not cleaning. He's just sitting there watching. That's all he's doing. And he's still potter in a mitzvah, even though he could do both. Even if it's efshel l'kaim shteihem, he could, if he wanted to do both, he's still potter. So says the Ran, you see from here, Isaac b'mitzvah, potter b'mitzvah, even if he could do both. I'm a small enough guy, I can shake lulav with one hand and I can do hashal with the other hand. You don't have to. Put all your focus into one mitzvah. Eibusha doesn't want you to do, he's not mechayiv you to do other mitzvahs while you're doing one.
But let's say you finish the one mitzvah.
Once you finish, you're chayiv in the next.
But you got to be Torah. That's only applies if you're Torah.
So Torah is before you're doing the mitzvah. If you're Torah about burying this guy, you're not actually doing the mitzvah. He's in another room. You're not watching him. You're not busy doing anything. You're just sitting there thinking about how am I going to make the plans. I've got to call home. I've got to call family. You're Torah. You're busy. You're Torah by mitzvah. So you're potter. What?
It's called being tired.
Yes, that you're tired, but even if you're not doing a mitzvah at the moment, you're just sitting there thinking about it. But this guy, he's watching the mace, he's actually doing a mitzvah. Even if he's not Torah, he's sitting there doing nothing. He's never been less busy in his entire life. He's not allowed to learn, he's not allowed to say Krishma, he's not allowed to put tefillin on. He's sitting there bored out of his brains. I guess this is before they had mobile phones. What should he do? Do a mitzvah, right? No. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do anything, says the Ran. Taisus argues with him in Maseches Sukkah. Taisus understands that because you're in a sukkah, you're doing a mitzvah, even though you're not Torah. Classic case. You're sitting in a sukkah. You're not doing anything. One leg on the other, your feet up. You're doing a mitzvah. You're sitting in a sukkah. There's no bigger mitzvah. Your whole body's doing a mitzvah. Are you put in a mitzvah? Says Taisus, no, you're not Torah. You're not busy. You could do both. You're sitting in a sukkah, now you can learn Torah. You don't say, I'm doing a mitzvah, I don't have to do anything else. No. Taisa says, you're chayv in a mitzvah if you're not busy. So what's going on over here? Why is this guy who's watching this corpse, why is he pater, says according to Taisus?
Cover the mace, probably.
Cover the mace, but not do another mitzvah.
I like to do the flaunt your mitzvahs.
That could be. Others want to say pshat that he is busy. I'll say it must be that he's busy. The shmira is he's busy keeping out the bugs, the ants. We'll see. He's trying to shoo away the flies and he's shooing away the keeping the rats away. He's busy. So we'll see. That's the pashas what the shmira is. The shmira is that he's watching the body. That's the shmira. What were you saying?
No. If he's a relative. So he's involved in other aspects of cover mace. And he's known in any way. I mean, it depends what level of relative.
Right.
But if he's just sitting there, is that considered enough? He can go to another room also.
So the Ran says he's not doing anything, but it's a mitzvah. And once you're doing a mitzvah, you potter from all these other mitzvahs, you potter. You're doing a mitzvah, you potter in a mitzvah. It could be that it's a traumatic thing for him to sit there with this mace, and therefore he doesn't have to go ahead now and Torah's not mechayiv him to do other mitzvahs way. It's hard for him. It's a challenge. Like the guy's, I don't know, maybe he's traumatized. Maybe it's hard for him. It's not an easy thing.
That doesn't patter him. Trauma doesn't patter him.
I don't know.
What?
Maybe yeah. You're gonna have to answer Taisus. How does Taisus understand this? Taisus says You're only potter if you're busy. If you're Shalakayim Shtein, you can't do both. Says the Gemara, Meisai U'Mishamrai, in. If he is a relative, U'Mishamrai, we're in Yudches, Amud Aleph, right in the middle of the page. Meisai Mishamrai in, Avamalach B'Beis HaKvar Loi. If he is doing a job, or is related, in, he's potter. Yeah. Avamalach B'Beis HaKvar Loi. If he's just walking through a graveyard, this guy's bored, he walks through a graveyard, Loi, he's chayiv.
What would
Vastan? Right. That's the mashmais. Oh, we're gonna see. That's the mashmais, right? We can indicate we can induce from the fact that only if he's watching, or if he's a relative, that he's potter. But if he's just walking through the graveyard on the way to work, right? He has to pass through a graveyard or on the sidewalk next to a graveyard. He's not potter. He should do mitzvahs, right?
Why is there even a hamamina?
You'll see in a second. Vatanya says in a brisa, Lo yahalech adam b'beis hakvaros. Don't walk through the beis hakvaros with tefillin b'reishai, with tefillin on your head. The sefer Torah b'zrayai, holding a sefer Torah. V'kaira, and you're reading from the Torah. V'moisake, and if you do it, over mishum lo yaglarash, cheref eisehu. You're laughing at the dead, at the weak. You're laughing at the weak, the dead. It's an embarrassment to them. So you see that you're not allowed to wear tefillin, you're not allowed to learn Torah when you walk through a graveyard. It's actually machlekes of shaydim. Is it only if he's holding a sefer Torah? When you walk through basic forest, big machlekes, are you allowed to speak in Torah? Are you allowed to learn Torah in the basic forest? First of all, is it only Torah Daladamas or is it even not in Daladamas? That's the first question. But are you allowed to learn Torah? Here it says mashma, only if he's holding a sefer Torah. It's like coming in with the whole Sefer Torah, basically was. That's like a rush. But this time you're saying Divrei Torah, maybe it doesn't bother them. Maybe they're not necessarily going to see. Someone would be medayik. What does it mean? Tefillin b'roishai, but maybe bezroya on his hand is okay. Why is it tefillin b'roishai? Tefillin on his head. What if it's tefillin on his arm and he covers it with his jacket? Is that okay? Someone will say, if you cover your tefillin, you see from here, if you cover your tefillin on your hand, and therefore even if you cover it on your head, it's okay. Put a cap on, then you can go to the basic class. Others say no, you can't wear it even if it's covered. Okay, so gemorah answer. So that's the kasha. From our brisa, from our mishnah, it's mashma that if you walk through a basic class, no problem. You can say Torah, tefillin, it's all good, right? Only if you're watching or if you're a family member. And this brisa is mashma if you walk through a basic class. You're not allowed to wear tefillin and say Torah. The Gemara answers, Hosam toich arba amasu, the osa. Chutz arba amas chayav. What's he saying? There, it's within arba amas, it's osa, but outside arba amas, he's chayav to wear tefillin. So if you're passing right by basic Christ within dalad amas of a mace, you're not allowed to wear tefillin. Like l'rash. You're not allowed to hold a sefer Torah and learn. But outside dalad amas, you chayiv to. You chayiv to the mitzvahs. Outside dalad amas. The mamar mace teifes dalad amas at kriyishma. The mace, he grabs dalad amas around him. That's his shetach, 4 feet. That's already his area, right? So hacha chutz dalad amas, potter. But outside dalad amas, he's potter. So in other words, we know that daladamas or adam is hari shalai. This is arbamas, even a mace. He's got 4 feet. That's his area. That's his personal space. So if you're within his personal space, you're not allowed to do it. It's a zilzal. Why? Because it's layed arash. Because they can see you l'chayra. But you can only see within arbamas. You can't see outside arbamas. Like what does it mean? Shtikla kasha, no? The mace can only see arbamas. Tachlis, the Mishnah Berurah says that you shouldn't, if you're in the basic cross and you're surrounded, even if you're not within arbamas, but you're surrounded by kvarim all the way around you, you still shouldn't do the mitzvahs externally, even if you're not within daladamas. Kasha is what speidim, what divrei Torah can you say within daladamas of the mace, not within daladamas of the mace? Big kashas, we're not going to get into it over here. But all the time, speidim are within daladamas for the basic quarters. You're right there, right? I think in Beit Shemesh, all the kvaros are right behind that wall. There's a wall there's a mechitza, but they're right behind the wall where they're giving a spadim.
One second, even if in general, when you're giving a spadim, the mace is right in front of you.
Right, exactly. So, how are you allowed to do it? Why isn't it like a rush? So some say if it's kvoidish shal mace, it's mutter. It's only if it's like a rush. You're asking at him, right? But if you're doing it for the mace, so there's nothing wrong with that. Gufa. I know there was some guy who marked with zero spadim. They made the kids sign waivers and schayvus, they're not going to give any spadim. And they didn't. They're just like, okay, Gedol Yisrael, buried, no spadim, maybe Tichad the Tzibura. Says the gemorah, Gufa. Gufa meaning, Hi Nuhach, what's going on? Someone's watching the mace, even though it's not his family member. Potter Mikrish Ma, Minat Tfilin, Minat Tfilin. Right? So if you're watching, even if it's not your family member, you're Potter. But if there's two guys watching, you take turns. One guy watches and one guy says, then the other guy watches and he takes turns. You take turns. Ben Azai says, are you buying besfina? If they're on a boat, they put him in the corner, they shove him in some corner, and both of them together could go pray in a different corner, it's no problem. So my benayu, what's the difference between these two opinions? What's going on over here? The question is do we assume there's going to be mice on the boat? One holds we assume there will be mice on a boat, and therefore you can't leave it even on a boat. Others say we're not chayshish for achbarim on a boat.
Achbarim on the boat.
Yeah.
No, it's like a known thing.
Yeah.
The
rats are on the boat. That's where they go.
Maybe not nowadays, but back in the day.
I don't know why you wouldn't be chayshish for achbarim on a boat. I don't know what the. It's interesting. It's like strange shtickle. Tanabana says in the Bryce, someone that's carrying a bunch of bones. He works for what's it called? He's a paleontologist. This guy, he's carrying bones from A to B. How is it? He shouldn't put them in a diskia, which is a sakshal or a leather pouch, right? And put it on top of your donkey. And ride his donkey.
Are we talking about human bones or?
Yeah. That's a disgrace. Just to throw the bones in a leather bag on the back of your donkey and ride the donkey, it's a bit of a disgrace for the bones. If he's worried that the bandits are going to come and get him, mutar, then you're allowed to. And guess what? Just whatever we said with the atzamos with bones, the same din applies to Sefer Torah. The same din applies. So ahaya, which din applies? Which one are you talking about? The Reisha that says you're not allowed to put it on the donkey, or the Sefer that says you're allowed to put it on the donkey, you're allowed to run if you're worried about bandits. Ilay Reisha Pshita. If you're going to tell me the Reisha Pshita, of course you can't put the Sefer Torah in your bag and ride it. It's a design for the Sefer Torah. Migra Sefer Torah, someone says Sefer Torah less respectful than bones. If for bones you got to treat it with respect, of course you have to treat a Sefer Torah with respect. It's talking about the Sefer, that just like you're allowed to put the bones of the donkey, the bones in the bag of the donkey and run, Sefer Torah also you put it in your bag of your donkey and run. I guess we're worried that they're going to steal the Sefer Torah. These things are very valuable. I think they go for like $60,000 nowadays. Amar Rechava, Amar of Yehuda. Someone that sees a dead body, he doesn't accompany him. He doesn't accompany. This guy is also it's also he's mevaza him. Mascharai. What's his reward if he is melave him? Omer of Asi Alavakas of Malva Hashem Chayin and Dal. I guess he's playing on the words Malva Hashem Chayin and Dal, as in Hashem lends money to someone who has compassion on the poor, right? So he's learning Malava. Someone that's Malava is Hashem's Chayin and Dal. Hashem will be Chayin on him. Someone's Malava the mace. Umechabdoi Chayin and Evyain. Someone's Mechabed is Chayin and Evyain. I'm not sure exactly what this what the dig here is. I just want to take a look in this thesis over here. Take a look at thesis Ve'im Mevarach. Again, we're talking about a guy who's sitting with this mace. Thesis on the last page, bottom thesis, Yud Zayin Omer, that base. Ve'im Mevarach. He doesn't have to say a bracha. Rashi doesn't have to say brachas. It says thesis Ve'im Zakuk Levarech. Pish Rashi, Ve'im Zakuk Levarech. He doesn't have to bench. He doesn't have to say bracha Rishayna. Normally you say bracha before you eat anything. The bracha before you eat, he doesn't have to say. It's mashma from Rashi. It's implied that if he wants to say a bracha, he's allowed to. Rashi says ein tzorech. The words of Rashi ein tzorech levarech. I don't know why. Taisa says vein zokuk. Zokuk is a harsher word. It means he's not obligated. Tzorech means he doesn't need to. Zokuk means it's like incumbent on him. He's explaining Rashi, but that's the mashma of Rashi. If he wants to say a bracha, he's allowed to, right? Yerushalmi says if this guy wants to say bracha, he's not allowed to. So Taisa says, I don't want to make a fight between the Bavli and Yerushalmi. Let's understand this. Ein Varach means he's not allowed to. Once the Yerushalmi explains the same din that he's Asa, why should I assume that Rashi is correct? Why should he not say a bracha? This is what you were saying. Out of respect to this dead person, don't stop making brachas. Or because there's no one that's going to take care of the mace. He's busy benching and davening and praying. No one's going to take care of him. So what's enough minute between these two pshatim and the Yerushalmi? If there's someone else there, is he allowed to? The first pshat, it's not kvayde shames. There could be 10 people there. Don't start making brachas and davening and making a minion next to him, right? The second pshat, if there's other people there that could take care of him, so you're allowed to bench, you're allowed to daven. There's nothing wrong. I just skipped to this is a very long Taisus. I'm going to see the whole thing because it's already past 9. Take a look at the bottom of Taisus, goes to the next page. 5 lines from the bottom of this Taisus. Taisus brings a story. Taisus very rarely brings stories. Here you go. Rabbeinu Tam's sister died on Shabbos. They told him on Motzei Shabbos, Bir Acheres, in a separate town. He did a proper malav malka like you're supposed to. Basa v'yayin, he ate, he drank wine. Since she has a husband in that town that's dealing with burying her, there's no problem with eating basa v'yayin. Now this Bryce that says also basa v'yayin, that's only if you are Torah in dealing with the mace, like Yerushalmi second shot basically. If there's other people doing it, then akol tov. You can do whatever you want. You can bench, you can basa v'yayin. Rebbeinu Tam says, since there's someone else who can deal with the mace, I don't have to do it. I'm mutu basa v'yayin. Now the whole problem with basa v'yayin is not coverage of mace. It's you're Torah. Take care of the mace. Why are you having a suda here? Basa v'yayin and you're besubin. That's the problem, says Rebbeinu Tam. And it could be, we don't know, this story happened when she was in a different city. He lived in, I don't know where's Rebbeinu Tam? In France somewhere, no? And she was in Italy, so he's like, what can I do? Okay. I don't know why it throws in there that it was Shabbos, maybe because maybe it was a mitzvah to have Malav Malka. There's a shtickle of mitzvah to have a Suda. It's a chiv to have Malav Malka. You wanted to be mukayim with flesh and yayin, bas of yayin. So the Tais is saying it could be Rebbeinu Tam, even if it would be in the same city, he would have had a bus of yain, because she's got a husband who's going to bury her. It's not his mitzvah. The whole reason why you put it from mitzvahs and you also the bus of yain is because you got to get busy burying this person. The Rosh is chaylek. The Rosh is mashma. The Rosh says, and he's a little bit of a diuk. If it's Mesa, you always also. Why? Because it says Misha Mesa Mutlafan it. It doesn't matter how many people are there. It doesn't say only if there's one guy. Our gemorah, Bryce is mashma. Anyone that there's a Mesa in front of him, they're also. Doesn't matter if there's other people who could deal with it. It doesn't say if there's someone else who could deal with it. The Mashmai says anyone that's got family member who is a Einan, he's also boss of Yain. He's potter from Torah Tefillah. It's got nothing to do with whether he himself is being Torah in the Kvura. Okay, we'll have to end it here. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all.